Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope the show finds you in great spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. Okay, guys, we got some things we have got to get into. There is some breaking news that just recently happened. Two completely different things on two completely different genres, if that makes any sense. Kind of been popping off over the past hour, and we definitely have got to talk about a few things. Everything from Nicki Minaj, again, to Bill Cosby, to now Alex Pretti. He is coming back. There is more information and more stuff that's been revealed, and we have got to get into this. We got some breaking news, guys. Breaking news. So get on in here, get comfortable, because it's time to rock and roll. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it to do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, go ahead and hit that follow button if you could be ever so kind. Okay? If you could be ever so kind, hit that follow button on those platforms because we on them. Okay? We are out here. And there's a lot of content coming on all those platforms, including here on YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button here on my YouTube channel, please and thank you. Okay? 'Tis always a blessing to give you guys information. So make sure you hit that subscribe button here on my YouTube channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Go to Pascal Raw, my third channel. Subscribe to those two other channels. Hit that notification bell on all those platforms, okay, including this one right here. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it's random. You know what I'm saying? At least for now. So make sure you hit that notification bell, okay? Hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. It's right there. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. All right. Here is the thing. There is a lot of discussion. In fact, I even was looking at this video wondering if this was real or not as well. And guess what? It is. It is real. For various reasons. Oh, 166 Goddess. Goddess. Thank you so much. You've been waiting for me. I've been waiting for you too. I've been waiting. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you waiting for me to come on to the show and rap with you guys about what's going on in the internets and in the news for today. So here's the thing. All right. We have got to get into a couple different things. But first, before we get into the main thing, I want to wait till a few people kind of hop on in here. So before we jump into the main event, okay, because I want to make sure people get in here because we're only going to really look at. I'm not going to sit here and play the video over and over and over again for the next hour and a half or 2 hours, however long we're here today. Okay, we got things to do and we got things to cover and other conversations that we need to have here. So I want to start off, okay, as people start to file in, okay, because like I said, this is breaking news. What we're about to look at here in a little bit. We got another thing that just broke. Now, this should not be a big surprise to everybody, but we're now getting more information about something that we haven't talked about in a long ass time. Now, here's the thing. I know there's a lot of people out here that feel some type of way about this man, okay? He is iconic in the best of ways and in the worst of ways. I'm just going to be real. He brought black television to white audiences, okay? He brought black life, black family life to white audiences. He was a massive name in the 80s and in the early 90s, okay? And even in the 70s as well, okay? we have got to talk about Bill Cosby here, guys. And what's interesting about this is that I'm about to tell you something. And Bill Cosby, some of y'all are gonna be like, okay, but he got a lot of explaining to do. Okay, he most definitely does, and let me explain why. Because take a look at this. So he says that he did get some QQs, okay, prescriptions, specifically 7 different prescriptions, so that he could put them into drinks or give them to ladies so that he could do the hibbity dibbity with them, guys. Now, hold on. I know a lot of people are like, we've been known that. But here's the thing. In a deposition, he actually did confess. He did say these things out loud, that he went to a friend who happened to be a very crooked OBGYN, okay, gynecologist, and he got the hookup from his OBGYN friend. Now, all of this is very important because one particular person is saying that she was viciously attacked by him whilst under the influence because he apparently, allegedly, slipped her something in the late 70s. Okay, and this is the substances that he got from a good friend of his and gave them to her. So here's the thing. Like I said, I know some people are going to be like, okay, he already said that he bought or received these kinds of substances, but he said under oath that he got these substances specifically to give them to women so he can maybe get lucky tonight. That's a massive difference. Not just like, oh yeah, I got them because I like to take them myself. You know what I mean? Daw. You know? No, that's not at all what was going on here. In fact, they say that he never touched the substance himself at all. Yeah. He bought them specifically to give to the women. Let's take a look at this. Like I said, waiting for a few more people to come in, and we're going to get into the main event. All right? But here it is. So he got some QQs. Got to use these code words, unfortunately, okay? To specifically give them to ladies. All right? So he admitted under oath he refilled a recreational prescription for QQs he got from a gynecologist at a poker game 7 different times with the intention of giving those pills to women in hopes of having relations with them. And he says he never downed a single pill himself. So he just got them for the ladies and just gave them to the ladies. So this bombshell admission is part of a deposition Cosby gave in a lawsuit filed by one of his accusers, Donna Motzinger, okay? And parts of his testimony are included in these new legal documents that have been obtained by TMZ, the article we're reading right here. Here's Donna Motzinger. She's saying that she received this substance, I guess, against her will, and that he took advantage of her with the substances coursing through her body. So Cosby said in the deposition, which is sealed, he was prescribed these cues by they said freaking, I'm just reading what they said in here, a freaking OBGYN, Dr. Leroy Amar, at a poker table. Talk about some shady business dealings. So the docs say Dr. Amar is a disgraced gynecologist who was Cosby's friend. How convenient. And the poker game where Cosby got these Q prescriptions was hosted at Cosby's LA home prior to 1972, which is very significant. Now, they said we did some digging and found Dr. Amar had his license revoked in California in 1979. Motzinger, the accuser, as we reported, claims that Cosby gave her these substances and then he attacked her in 1972 when she was working as a server at the famous Trident restaurant in Sausalito, California. So in her lawsuit, Motzinger claims Cosby gave her a pill that she believed was an aspirin. And after she took that pill, she started falling in and out of consciousness and woke up the next day in her house wearing only her undies. So this new doc says that Cosby's Qs, these QQs, all right, were round white pills. So Cosby's trying to get Motzinger's lawsuit thrown out of court, but Motzinger is fighting back. Now, here's the thing. This is some crazy stuff, very shocking information, because it's now we're hearing more about what happened in these depositions. And he said these things under oath. Let me remind you, he said these things under oath. The man, Mr. Jello Pudding Pop, goo, goo, goo. But you get what I'm saying, dawg. Okay, he allegedly gave this particular cue to a girl. She didn't know that she was getting that, like she was receiving that. She thought she said, I have a headache. And he said, sure, I'll give you this white pill. It's aspirin, trust me. She took it, and then he allegedly took advantage of her. Now, here's the thing. There's back in the 70s and in the early 80s, cues were a thing. Cues were a thing. Just like still to this day, you know, you got yayo, you got all these other things that are a thing. And guys out here that party or like, you know, trying to get to the ladies, trying to get, you know, in good with the ladies. What do? They tend to supply certain things because they think that to find a good woman, you know what I'm saying? Find you a good woman by seeing if she likes to ski. You know, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. But this is what they did, right? This is still guys still do this stuff, right? It's like this is the way to, you know, get some ladies or, you know, get these ladies' attention because he always has the greatest ish, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's a little slimy in my personal. I think it's slimy, not even a little. I think it's still kind of slimy. Like this is the way I'm going to get these girls by having a few tabs or, you know, a few pills or a few, you know, flakes, if you get what I'm saying, rather than just showing your winning personality. Because you know what? Your personality is all you need, guys, just so you know. Welcome to the Manosphere podcast by Pascal. I'm kidding. Hold up. I'm kidding. But what I'm trying to say, okay, is that there's guys out there that will get these things because they're, you know, it's the club in life, you know, they're around beautiful women. Some of these women like this kind of stuff. So they'll get those things specifically to, you know, as an opportunity, right? To talk to these ladies. What if Bill Cosby was buying those things specifically so that he could, you know, icebreaker, baby. See, I feel filthy even saying that out my mouth. Like even saying that out my mouth, I feel filthy. And I know that there's people out here going like, free Bill Cosby. But I don't know about all that. 7 different prescriptions for QQs so that he could boink. I don't know, guys. I still side-eye the hell out of that. I'm sorry. The only way, you're Bill Cosby. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't really need to have certain things in your arsenal. The fact that I even have to say arsenal doesn't make any bloody sense, love. It doesn't even make any sense, love. You're Bill Cosby, bro. Why would you need arsenal supplies to be able to talk to a lady? Don't get me wrong. I get it. He's not like the most handsomest man in the world. Okay. He ain't Tyson Beckford. Okay. He ain't Tay Diggs. All right. Or any of these other mother lovers. You know, the dude with the green eyes. What's his face? That every girl's going goo goo gaga over? The dude with the green eyes. What's his face? He was with Tiana Taylor. Somebody help me. Okay. Like, but he's still Bill Cosby. Okay. He was very successful. Do you really think he needs to have things in his, you know what I'm saying, within his reach, just so he can do his thizang? No, I wasn't talking about Terrence Howard. Aaron Pierre, that guy, that mother lover. Okay, that dude with the green eyes. No, I'm not talking about Terrence Howard, man. I ain't talking about Terrence Howard, man. Okay, but yeah, Terrence Howard's a handsome man too. Okay, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, Terrence Howard would work too, but you get what I'm saying. It's Bill Cosby, but he's very successful. Ladies love success. Who? Why? 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 Why, T? Why? 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 T, come on, man. Bruh. Sorry. I'm sorry. Very talented man, okay? Very talented singer. But no, he don't have green eyes, okay? He really does not have green. His last name is Green, yeah, but he ain't got no green eyes. He ain't light-skinned. He dark-skinned. But that's another conversation. T, we're gonna have to have a conversation, buddy. We're gonna have to have a long conversation a little later. We're gonna move on though. Love you, baby. But moving on, okay. CeeLo Green. Thank you for that. That man, CeeLo Green. Okay, moving on. Okay, okay. You're Bill Cosby. You know, you don't need that crap. You're successful, you're funny, you're charismatic, you got all these other things that are working for you, baby. Why would you need some QQs to be able to, you know, make your bed rock? You know what I'm saying? Just doesn't make sense to me. So the fact that he's saying this in sworn deposition tells me something. But it also doesn't automatically mean that he's confessing to doing these egregious and horrible acts to these women. That's one thing that is for sure. But the fact that he was buying those things and saying, yeah, I got them for the ladies. I had 7 different prescriptions for that thing. That is insane. Remember what he talked about on a talk show? Something about some Spanish fly or something like that. And he's like, woo, you put that in that lady's drink. Woo, watch out now. Watch out. Like, he's saying that live on a show. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? But what say you guys? What do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think that this is more of an admission of guilt or no? Let me know. CeeLo Green, T. CeeLo mother-loving. CeeLo Green, light-skinned with green eyes. T. Really? Now I'm mad. You know, first it was funny. Now I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm mad. What does CeeLo Green sound like when he sings? Does he sound light-skinned? Is that what it is? Does he sound light? I'm done. Oh yeah, he sounds like he got green eyes. You know, and his last name Green. I'm done. I'm done now. We're gonna move on to more serious matters here, though. We have got to go into some serious conversations. Yeah. So we're going to get into it. Okay. CeeLo Green sounds light-skinned. Come on. Come on. Don't do me like that, guys. Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me, dog. All right. So we have got to get into this. This is very serious. So we got to get into shift gears here. All right. And I think no matter what, Bill Cosby has a lot of explaining to do, okay? Like a lot, all right? And I think he's always going to have that till his last dying breath, all right? But as these protests continue to boil out there in these Minnesota streets or in these Minneapolis streets, a new piece of information, a new video just came out. Now, remember yesterday when we talked about him Alex Pretti breaking a rib or two when he had an interaction with ICE outside while protesting and all that? And we heard a story about how he was out there. He saw a car, or he saw somebody getting arrested, or they were trying to detain a possible illegal migrant, and they suddenly out of nowhere saw Alex Pretti like yelling at them, and then they just tackled him, right? And the way that we heard it or read it in that article, it sounded like he's just sitting there just, minding his own business, exercising his First Amendment right? The right to speak the right of free speech. Well, there's new footage that's now been obtained by BBC, and it shows Alex Pretti. He still has his weapon on him. He has his side piece, the same weapon that he got that he had days later when he lost his life, that he did not pull out at all. All right. So apparently in this one, you see him spitting on federal agents. Yeah. He's spitting on federal agents and kicking the taillight out of a ICE vehicle before getting tackled, wrestled to the ground, and then he somehow finds a way out. He finds his way away from ICE. Okay. This is not great. This is not great. I will say that. It's not great, but we got more. I got to say something after this. It's not great. Let's take a look at this. Warning, if you got kids around, earmuffs, because, a lot of these protests, they like using the F word, like breathing air, okay? But this is the full video. I'm going to play it.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him.
Boy.
Our footage was
Not
analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis.
Now, you saw a bit of it, right? I'm going to play the rest of it, but I gotta cut in and out. It's annoying. I get it. But it's all part of this, free use crap, okay? But you saw that part, the very beginning. Don't worry, I'm going to play the rest of it, but I want to play the beginning of it again. Because you can see, yeah, he mad. He big mad. He big mad in this one. Now, clearly, he was big mad in the one that were, moments before he lost his life. But at the same time, here's the thing. E-Rock just said, yeah, he's really mad. Doesn't help the case. Does it though? Does it? Does it not help his case? Hold on. Let's continue.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy.
I want you to know something too. He's wearing pretty much the same outfit that he wore when he lost his life. Same brown jacket, same tan pants, tan shirt, all the same crap. He's wearing all the same stuff. Okay. Now, this changes my opinion to a certain extent, not the whole thing, but let's take a look at this.
On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight.
Now, I also want to point out, some of you guys are saying this is AI. If this was AI, this is pretty damn good AI. Okay? This is real. Okay? If this was AI, holy crap, this is another level. It's another level of technology that we've never seen before. Even Hollywood couldn't fake this. I'm just going to be real. But this is real, guys. This is very real. First off, yeah, he attacked their vehicle. That's breaking the law. Sorry, that's the truth. Whether you think that he lost his life justifiably or if you think he lost his life unjustifiably, we got to break this down, okay? He most definitely just broke the law right there. Just so you know. Okay? That's considered assault. All right? That's considered, that's considered. It's a hell of a kick. I will say that. Hell of a kick. He's lucky that he didn't get his ass beat here, but they did break a couple ribs when they were on top of him at this time. But I also will say this too. Just because he had an altercation with them here does not change what happened to him a week later. Just saying that out loud. Let's continue.
An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing on the day he was killed.
That's him.
What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
You saw that, right? Hold on. Let me show you. It's kind of hard to see, but he's got it right there. He's got it right there. This is the same guy. This is the same dude, everybody. Now, I also want to point something out because somebody just said this is not considered a considered assault, but attacking a law enforcement vehicle, okay? It can be classified as a violent felony or aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, actually. Depending on the intent and the severity, it can lead to changes or charges of felony obstruction, resisting arrest, or if using a vehicle as a weapon, vehicular assault, resulting in significant prison time. So, of course, if this guy was attacking a police vehicle or a law enforcement vehicle, that he could look at charges straight up. Okay. That could lead to reasons of getting arrested. How many times have we seen protesters go up and bang on cars I'm not talking about ICE protests. I'm talking about, looking back at protests with just going back to George Floyd, right? Let's go all the way back there. Every time that they would bang or try to smash windows on these cars, on these police cars, they're instantly arrested because they're breaking laws right there. They get charged for those things. You know what I mean? So that's one thing, right? And I agree. It's charges, not the demise of somebody. I agree 110%. Let me repeat this. Just because he did what he did on the car and was unhinged in this video does not mean that he should be dead right now. Not at all. I still think what happened to him is not justified. But I think that this is going to be a very interesting experience for everybody who's watching that is still teetering on the side of what they did to him was justified. So this is only feeding that because people are going to look at that and go, see, he was unhinged. He was absolutely out of his mind, right? He was absolutely out of his mind. Don't you see that he was angry? He broke that taillight. Don't you see what he did? He's unhinged. He got exactly what he deserved. Blah, blah, blah. See what I'm saying? Like I said, they find as much, the weapon went off on its own. It has a history of going off on its own. Therefore, he did that, blah, 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 right? They try to find anything under the sun to try to move the goalpost to make it look like this guy was just the worst of the worst. He was some absolute radical leftist. He was a rioter. He was the X, Y, and Z, right? When in actuality, the way I see it in the days later, it's a little different. He might have been a little bit more subdued or may have backed up a little bit more because of his broken ribs. If he really did break his ribs, right? If that story is actually accurate. Think about that. He may have been like, nah, I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be over here, but I'm going to film. I'm going to film and I'm going to still yell, but I'm going to be over here because I ain't trying to get in a tussle with ICE again because I'm still bruised. I'm still bruised from what happened a week ago. You see what I'm saying? That's still a possibility, but let me continue. Let me continue. But you see his piece right there. This is the guy. This is him, guys. It's unbelievable, but it is him. Same outfit and everything.
Gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun.
That's not true. And we
that
already know
claim has been contradicted by
true.
analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Pretti was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street. Shortly after the altercation we filmed here on January 13th, federal agents drove away.
What I find very interesting about this as well is that he don't look like he's hurting that bad. Now, you know, he could still be hopped up on adrenaline right then. You see what I'm saying? Like he's just like, F you, you know what I mean? Just feeling some type of way about everything. But from what I'm seeing right now, he's not like, oh God, like he's not like, oh my God, my side, you know what I mean? He's not doing that. You know, he's he's not doing that, right? He's not doing that. So did he really break a rib? I don't know.
Soon after that, we left the scene.
So don't worry, I'm gonna play this again because I do want you guys to see this again. Pretty crazy. And this is why it's really important to have these cameras out, right? I know that some people are like, why are these guys out? They just want to make content so they can get a few views and a few clicks and make money off the situation. No, I think this is also important because you never know what you might capture. It's so crazy out here in these streets that I appreciate these cameras out because they can cover every angle and tell the true story, especially now more than ever. You got ICE agents that are telling DHS is lying, right? They've been lying. Now they're trying to walk it back, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They're trying to walk it back and change the story. And they're trying to point fingers at everybody inside the administration, right? They're trying to point blame at each other rather than taking full accountability and stepping down, which is exactly what they should be doing. Every single last one of them that went out there and lied to the general public, all of them should be demoted or fired, period. They shouldn't be there. Same thing I feel about Pam Bondi. She lied to us about the Epi files. She lied the hell out of those Epi files. And I'm sure at the direction of Trump, but you know, he ain't getting impeached anytime soon. Okay. One of those heads that should be rolling is hers as well, because she lied to us. Okay. The video she lied about, the list she lied about, the files she lied about, all of them should be stepping down, but Trump is trying to protect them and hold on to them for dear life. What for? I don't know. What reason? I don't know. But nonetheless, this is the reason why cameras need to be out at all times, at all costs, as some would say, by any means necessary, right? So let's take a look at this one more time. Okay. Don't worry. I'm going to circle back to this after we watch it, that kind of thing. There's just a lot going on today. You know, Nicki Minaj. All right. Nicki Minaj out here. All right. We got some crazy stuff going on in her brainwash ass. Okay. Let's continue.
We're blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away.
So it does make you wonder, why did they retreat? right? Why didn't they just continue to arrest him, detain him? What made them stop doing that, right? That's the one thing I'm still kind of curious about. What happened here? Why did they decide not to do what they were in the middle of doing, right? He runs off and he's like, yeah, like really excited about it too. Alex is like, yeah, come at me, man. Why aren't you taking me? You know what I mean? Which is very weird, very interesting. But let's take a look.
The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene.
So I'm going to roll that back again. Hold on. Yeah, because he's like super hyped, like, yeah, they didn't take me. But, and we never really see him, from what I've seen, we never really see him like chest on the ground. So where did he break his rib if he broke his rib this day too?
The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't look like he's, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like he fell or like, you know, it's not like he ever was face down in the ground. So is that true? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Nomadic just said, his body contorted very fast. He could have fractured a rib. Maybe. But this is a very interesting interaction. It's the same outfit, y'all. Same doggone outfit that he was wearing. That's the same doggone. Hold on. Let me find. Now I need to pull up the video. You know, the video. If you get what I'm saying. Hold on. No, the reason why MB7, I think that's what you're saying. You don't have to fall directly on your chest to break a rib. It is icy. Let me explain something. They said in the report that we read yesterday, they said that they put knees on his back. Like they had him pinned to the ground, and they put knees on his back, breaking a rib. That's what they said. Now, they could have been trying to put their knees on his back while he was on all fours, trying to like apply pressure so that he would fall, and he refused to fall. He refused to go down. Maybe that's what it is here too. But like I said, something strange going on. You know what I mean? Just in my personal opinion. But, you know, again, people are going to be putting out here. Like I'm just reading Nick Sorter's post real quick, just off camera, off screen. He's saying, breaking video has surfaced of Alex Pretti spitting on, he put it in all caps, and attacking in all caps federal agents in Minneapolis area on January 13th, 1 week before being pew-pewed, okay, during a scuffle with Border Patrol. This guy was not, in caps, a peaceful protester. He was in all caps, violent leftist militant, okay? So this is what he is saying now too. So again, the people are going to take this and they're going to run with it. Okay. You know, people are going to take that and they're going to run with it like a mug. Okay. But hold on 1 second, y'all. This is the same outfit, y'all. Only difference is, hold on. Here's a photo. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Actually, let me. I have the photo. What am I doing? I got a photo. Let me just show you the photo real quick. This is him. It's the same dude. This is the same mother-loving dude. Whoops. What the heck? Hold on. Try that again. That's the same dude. Same hat. Only difference is that he's got like a gator. You know, he's got like one of those gaiters on around his neck. But the same doggone outfit. He's wearing the same outfit, y'all. Same coat, same everything. This is the guy. This is him, for sure. Without question. All right. So again, very, very interesting. Don't worry, we're gonna circle back to that in just a little bit, but we got to get to Nicki Minaj. We got to get to Minaj. This is some interesting stuff going on in this world, y'all. Some interesting stuff going on in this world. Hold up. Hold on. There's a little bit longer video, I think. Yes, there is. There it is. Nicki Minaj. She back at it again, guys. Back at it again. Trump had a press conference, and he brought Nicki Minaj on because, of course, he is trying to create accounts for children, right? And called Trump accounts, by the way. Profound. And again, this is very interesting, right? We got to take a look at this. Yeah, she back in here. So let's take a look at this.
Oh, please. My daughter, she went crazy when she heard that this was happening. I want to go. You know, she happens to be in the wrong state right now for that. But when she heard that there's a certain person that's here who's the greatest and most successful female rapper in history, Nicki Minaj. Come on. And, you know, and Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay. But Nicki makes a lot of money, and she's generously stepping up. She's investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in Trump accounts to support the children and really the children of her incredible fans. That's great. Focus on that. Why should you give to somebody else's fans? Give to your fans. I like that. But and I just think she's great. You know, I've been hearing so much over the years because I didn't know Nicki, and I've been hearing over the years she's a big Trump supporter and a Trump fan, and she took a little heat on occasion. Her community isn't necessarily, I tell you, we did pretty damn well with that, with your community, as we say. But Nicki has been an unbelievable supporter. She gets almost as much as Mr. Wonderful over here. He's been another one that's been so good. But I'd like to ask you to come up, Nicki. Come on up. Come on. She's been such a great supporter and a great supporter of Trump accounts. And I said, I am going to let my nails grow because I love those nails. I'm going to let those nails grow. She's so good. She's been MAGA. What can I say? She's been with us all the way, right, Alex? She's been with us all the way, and just want to thank her. And it wasn't so easy. For you, it was easier, right? You want to come up? You want to come up? Mr. Wonderful, come on up here. You've been terrific. Come on up.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of all the entrepreneurs in America, I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, because we create 72% of the jobs. Companies 5 to 500 employees, and all we care about is policy. We love policy, pro-business policy, and these accounts are fantastic for independence and support. I thank you very much. It's all about the entrepreneur, and I think you know that, sir. Thank you very much. Well, that was great. A little interlude. I don't know. That's better than getting Scott Bessent up.
So again, Nicki Minaj, that happened. Yeah, it's Nick. I don't even know. There's so much I want to say, but I can't really. I don't know how to put it in words. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know what the I feel like there's something bigger going on with her being there, with her getting involved with all this stuff lately, something about it just seems a little bit odd. But if you notice, this is what they do with this is just what I've seen with when it comes to Black MAGA or just influencers or big names in the pop culture world that happen to be Black or brown. They tend to be like, hey, come on over here. Hey, look over here. Come on over here. Black and brown celebrity person, you have finally converted to MAGA. Come over here. Because we want everybody else. We want all the Black people too, and all the Black and brown people to know that it's okay to be MAGA too. That we're not racist. We love Black and brown people. And she's just this year's flavor of this. She's like the flavor of the week this time around, right? Let's not forget the other thing too. Wasn't it last year? It was Amber Rose. You see what I'm saying? There's always something. There's always something going on, which I think is really strange. And now they got Nicki Minaj. I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is. It's like a Stepford Housewives, the MAGA version. You see what I'm saying? What's that movie? Isn't it called Stepford Housewives? The one with Nicole Kidman? And what's the other people, right? They move into a town. All the women are acting kind of the same, almost like they're robots. They all look the same. They act the same, right? So it's kind of like that in a way, right? And it's like almost she got shot, like she got a shot or something of that sort. And now it's like she is just part of the MAGA movement. It's weird. It's really weird to me. And I feel like there's something bigger going on for her. That there's something, I don't know if she's trying to get her green card, or if she's trying to get her husband, trying to protect her husband from legal issues or get her brother out of prison. I don't know what it is, but something seems odd here. To me, something seems very, very odd. But I guess we're never going to fully find out until it fleshes out. You know what I mean? Give it time. We still got 3 more years. Just so you guys know, we still got 3 more years. So only time will tell, right? There is something that I wanted to share with you guys. I didn't get a chance to we didn't get a chance to talk about it this morning. So we got to talk about it today.
I couldn't believe
Okay.
it.
Now, there's a witness that got slipped through Border Patrol's fingers. I want to make that I want to make that abundantly clear. She found a way to slip through the cracks. In fact, actually, damn, hold on. Something's going on right now. Hold on. Come on. Is it working? Okay, did it? Sorry, guys, 1 second. Well, when it does happen, okay, so because Ilhan Omar is holding a press briefing about that whole syringe squirting, liquids on her situation. So we got to talk about that. We're going to look at that whenever that actually happens, because she's actually about to hold a press conference on that. So hold tight on that. But let me just show you guys this. Now, a witness was able to slip through the fingers of the Border Patrol after Alex Pretti lost his life. Now, if you guys didn't remember or don't know, as soon as Alex Pretti lost his life, all those witnesses, all of them got detained. All of them did, except for one person, the woman in the pink coat. This is the woman in the pink coat. So she did an exclusive interview with Anderson Cooper, talking about what she saw and everything in between. And we have got to take a look at this, okay? She is scared for her life. She is out there in hiding. No one knows where she is, but she was able to sit down and do this exclusive with Anderson Cooper. So let's take a look at this.
I was seeing, like, what? And I knew he was gone because I watched it. And then they come over to try to perform some type of medical aid by ripping his clothes open with scissors and then maneuvering his body around like a rag doll, only to discover that it could be because they wanted to count the bullet wounds to see how many they got, like he's a deer. I watched that, and that is what it felt like they were doing. And that is part of why I was like, what are you guys doing? Why would you jostle his body around like that? You're not even doing anything to help him. But I knew he was gone.
Well, for days, she's been called the woman in the pink coat, and she captured the crucial video showing exactly what happened when Alex Pretti was shot and killed by DHS officers. She had not come forward until today, and her name, which is being revealed for the first time, is Stella Carlson. She's a children's entertainer. She runs a children's entertainment company. She's a face and body painter and an airbrush artist. All of it a world away from anything she or anyone could possibly imagine.
You knew he was gone then?
I knew he was gone. There was no way with the way his body was moving. And I only knew that because of the way they were manipulating his dead body, just playing with it. Like they're in a video game. They were looking at us and laughing.
After the shooting?
Yes. I mean, the reason of escalation was due to the mockery. We understand why the MPD is unable to intervene on a level we would like. But you would like to think that their kindness, compassion, looking us in the eyes would occur in these moments when we're being attacked in the streets. And the MPD just felt like they were part of that team at that moment. And maybe that I'm not talking about the whole
were Minneapolis Police Department people on the scene?
Once the yellow tape was up, there were MPD officers who were standing in line, 5 of them, I think, and they wouldn't look at us. Everyone just kept saying, just look at us. You're our representatives. You work for us. Why won't you look at us? Like a part of our community just was murdered in the street. Like, you're our Minneapolis Police Department. Why won't you even just look at us to give us solidarity? You know, when we walk around with the whistles around our neck, it's not that we have, like, we know we can't do much. But what we do know is that we can let our community at large know when we're walking around, like, I see you. And if you're stuck in your apartment, I want you to see me. I'm another person walking around who is here to protect you as best I can with my whistle and my phone, which really feels not great.
And yet, you stood there with a phone and you documented this. You didn't run away.
I am not one to run when I'm afraid. I just, no way was I going to leave Alex by himself, undocumented. Like, that wasn't an option. I mean, obviously somebody was just executed in the street. I knew I was in danger. We all were, but I wasn't going to leave if we weren't all cleared out. And if it wasn't for the collective actions over the past 3 weeks, I don't know if I would have been able to stay that long. But I knew that this was a moment and we all have to be brave and we all have to take risks, and we're all going to be given moments to make that decision. And I guess in my default mind of crisis there, that's where mine fell. And I'm grateful to myself, and I'm grateful to anybody who was supportive to me after, to make sure I could get to safety and get that video uploaded.
I mean, it takes some balls. I'm going to be real. It takes some serious guts to have her do what she did, right? Even after the fact, because I know a lot of us would, as soon as the first shot was fired, we'd all run, we'd all be backing up, but she just stayed on there. You know what I mean? She stayed on there, and that takes some serious guts, man.
To the right people.
The federal government says that they are investigating what happened. Have you been contacted by anyone from the federal government? FBI?
Nope. No, I have
Border
not.
Patrol, Homeland Security?
I do have a legal team now who are fielding much of that, and I am no longer accessible in those ways.
I talked to your attorney this morning. She said she had not received any outreach from the FBI or anybody from the federal government.
I do not think they have my name yet.
Well, now they do.
Obviously, they will.
Excuse me. Now they do.
You've given testimony to state investigators.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have confidence in a federal investigation?
No. No, I do not. I have faith in various representatives throughout our country who are trying to do the right thing and make sure that justice is served. I have faith in our local government in Minnesota. I think they are wanting to make sure to protect us and investigate it thoroughly, but they are trying to block that from happening. They wouldn't even let the investigative team come to the crime scene. I mean, their goal is to protect themselves and to spin stories.
It's incredible to me, though, that 4 days after this shooting, you have not been contacted by anybody from the FBI or the federal government. Right. What does that tell you?
That they're protecting themselves and they don't care about the truth of what happened. They're looking for their way to create the truth that protects them and allows them to move forward with whatever it is, which we all have various ideas of what that looks like, but whatever it is that their long game is in creating this violence in our streets. This is not, these are people from all over the country who have not been trained to intervene, kick down doors, break away families, leave children stranded in the street without their parents, having communities throughout Minnesota trying to come together to figure out who can foster all of these children who have been abandoned in apartments that have been kicked down with now no family around. I mean, how can you justify that? There's enough evidence for what they've been doing before it ever came to murder.
To you, this is murder?
Yes, I know it is.
What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Do you think that this was an unaliving? Well, I mean, clearly it was an unaliving, but I mean, do you think that this was murder? Or do you think this was something else? Or is it just too much gray that you can't really make a full decision, right? There's that question. Let's go.
It was an assassination in full view in the middle of the streets of somebody who has served our country and continues to at the Veterans Hospital. Like, nobody should have to worry about being assassinated in their streets, especially in America, which nowhere it should be that way. I think people are feeling like there's nobody here to help us. There's nobody who can step in to protect us. And I think people are at a loss and shooken. Like, what do we do? What can we do? What is in our constitutional rights that don't seem to matter? The Constitution doesn't seem to matter. There's many people who have died, but we don't know what that looks like. You know, people from being detained and having a medical crisis without intervention. I've heard of many stories where people are sick and they don't have their medications. Like, all of those human rights violations, those stories aren't being told yet. So this is only the beginning of a very long road. When this does end, we're all ready to move forward with productive ways to make this better. But how do we do that when our local officials in the state of Minnesota also have their hands tied? So that's, it broke down to, then it's us. We only have each other. Nobody's here for us. Nobody's going to help us right now because their hands are tied. So this is what we can do. I can document in case somebody gets detained, which is what I was filming, right? In case someone gets detained. Did I think I was going to be filming a murder? No. An assassination? No.
Do you worry about you becoming a target because you've spoken out?
Absolutely. Yes. But yeah, I hope that me coming forward and doing this allows others to do it with me. I think there's safety in more of us taking those risks. But I understand we cannot all do that. This is just, you know, one more moment to tell the truth, one more moment to, I'm just here to represent all the work we're doing, and I'm here to represent the truth. I'm not here to represent me, I'm here to represent we. I care about my community, I care about my state and my country. And this is one small thing I can do.
That was Stella Carlson, who provided crucial evidence for whatever investigation may be done.
I mean, she was the only one that had like the clearest view, okay? The clearest and cleanest shot of what actually happened here. And I mean, it takes a lot of, like I said, I'm going to say it over and over again, guys. It takes a lot of guts to just stand there and just film the whole thing. And then, you know, and not be worried about getting tackled by Border Patrol agents that are worried about you exposing what really happened and all that. I mean, you know, with her, it's funny because it's like with her angle and then the other angle that was across the street, you know, just those two videos, it does help, right? It does help kind of piece together what actually went down, right? You could see both angles in the situation, and it's bad. It's bad. At the end of the day, it's really, really bad. Border Patrol done mucked that up terribly, and that man should still be alive. Like I said, you guys can go and scroll back and look at the video of Alex Pretti a week before he lost his life. It still does not justify. It still does not justify why that man is no longer here. It just doesn't, guys. I'm going to be real. As much as we can look at that and move the goalposts as best as we can, it doesn't justify why this man is no longer here on this planet. It doesn't. But here is Ilhan Omar speaking out. So about this whole incident with that weird guy. I think his name is Andy. I think his name was Andy. But let's take a listen. And for those of y'all who don't know what's going on, Ilhan Omar was doing a public, you know, town hall yesterday, and suddenly out of nowhere, some butthole ran up and sprayed something on her shirt, like sprayed something on a syringe, and was like, just yelling at her or something like that. Now that guy's been arrested, and actually, you know what? Actually, before we go into this, there's been some crazy stuff that's been sparking off from this situation, all because of what Trump said in a post or said in an interview about Ilhan Omar, which I think is really messed up and strange. And now everybody and their mama, who is on the side of Trump is trying to take this to a whole other place. Okay. So let's take a look at this.
Let's bring in MS Now reporter Alex Tabbitt live from Minneapolis. Also with us, former acting ICE Chief of Staff under President Biden, Deborah Fleischaker, and former federal prosecutor Ankush Kaduri. Alex, so many big developments in the past 24 hours. Bring us up to speed on Congresswoman Omar, President Trump, and the latest on the Pretti investigation.
Never ends. Never ending story.
That's right, Anna. There's so much going on, including this scary incident that occurred last night while Representative Ilhan Omar was holding a town hall event here in Minneapolis. This is what we know, that during that town hall event, a man seated near towards the front row charged towards Omar, attacked her with a syringe and sprayed liquid through that syringe on her. Now
I want you guys to know, like, I've seen footage, like seen photos of whatever's, like, it's yellow. It's like a yellow, orangish yellow kind of, you know what I mean, substance that's in this syringe that he's shooting on her, right? And I keep wondering, like, did he pee in a cup, you know what I mean, and then just use the syringe and then, you know what I mean? Because they say it had a really rank smell. I know some people are saying maybe it was apple cider vinegar, but why would you go up and spray somebody with apple cider vinegar? You know what I mean? Like, oh, so you know about that too. Okay. MB7 just said, yeah, it was apple cider vinegar. Why would you, if you were really trying to go out there and make a statement, why would you go out there and use apple cider vinegar? Why? It seems a little weird, don't you think? Yeah, I was convinced I thought it was that, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was that lemonade that our body makes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the hell's going on. What? Because it just smells bad? I mean, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good for if you trying to lose some weight. It's good for that. It's good for your digestive system. Okay, it's all good when you consume it. It smells like death. It does. It smells terrible, and it's terrible to drink. Right? It's terrible, but it's very good for your body. But it doesn't make any sense. Like, ooh, I'm going to go over here and spray her with apple cider vinegar. Why? That makes no bloody sense. But let's continue. Don't worry, we're going somewhere with this. Before we go to this press conference, which we are going to look at in just a second, they're saying it's apple cider vinegar. Like, ooh, gangsta, right? Ooh, dangerous. It just was it really apple cider vinegar? I just heard people say that, but I don't know.
Don't know what was in that liquid. We do know that it had a pungent smell. It was said to have smelled like vinegar. In the moments after, a security guard tackled that man to the ground. Members of Omar's staff tried to convince her to go receive medical attention, but she refused. She wanted to soldier on. She said,
did you guys see this? Look at this lady right here. This girl in the pink, in the blue shirt right here. Her reaction is priceless. This is exactly how I would react probably too. Same with this lady here. Oh, good God. Look.
After a security guard tackled that man to the ground, members of Omar's staff tried to convince her to go receive medical attention, but she refused. She wanted...
I'd be freaking out too, trust.
...to soldier on. She said that she didn't want to let the bullies win. She said, quote, please don't let them have the show. Now, the Minneapolis Police Department did arrest that man and identified him as a 55-year-old Anthony Kazmarziak. But of course, the police are still working to figure out what was in that syringe. Now, after this incident, President Trump did an interview with ABC News where he was asked about it. And this is what he said about Ilhan Omar. No, I don't think about her. I think she's a fraud. I really don't think about that. She probably had sprayed herself knowing her. So
let me just pause that right there. So instantly, first off, he's lying. Because he has been posted, he says, "Oh no, I don't think about her." When they say, "What did you think about everything that's going on with Ilhan Omar and this whole situation where she got attacked randomly and got sprayed, right?" He says, no, I don't really think about her. I think she's a fraud. Yet he's been doing countless posts saying how bad and how much of a fraudster she is. So that doesn't make any sense. He sits there and goes, we need to deport her. We need to get her out of her job. We need to do all these things, which is insane, right? He says that, but then he says all those things in a post, but he says, oh, I don't think about her, which is a bold-faced lie. But here's the next part. He knows what he's doing because he knows he has that kind of power on people. Remember that. So he says, I really don't think about that. She probably had herself sprayed knowing her. Boom. Instantly, his MAGA base goes out their freaking minds. So they start going and deep diving into this piece of trash that ended up walking up and spraying her with God knows what. Apple cider vinegar for real though? But anyway, they find out that he has leftist children. So they instantly say, oh, she planned this. This was a whole fraud. This whole thing was just to add to create some sort of buzz about her. Here's the thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but I will tell you this. There are plenty of family members that are hardcore right that have leftist children. Or you got a hardcore right conservative MAGA individual married to a leftist. It does exist. Look at what happened with Renee Nicole Good. She was leftist and her family was Trump supporters. How is that some far-fetched idea? There's plenty of those people that are out here. I don't think you guys remember. I remember a long time ago when J6 happened. I interviewed a son that actually ratted out, like that actually, reported his own father for being a part of the J6 situation. I don't know if you guys remember that interview, but it's there. Go check it out. But he's full on left. And his father was hardcore right. And he's a leftist. And his father went and did that thing on J6, which of course he was probably pardoned, right? He most likely was pardoned. But that leftist son of his got him arrested because he knew that his dad went to J6 and did that stuff and was a part of that chaos and got his own dad arrested. It's not a far-fetched thing, guys. It's not. It's not some far-fetched idea that there's going to be fathers or mothers that are going to birth children that are on the complete opposite end of the political aisle. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, guys. Come on. Let's keep it real. You know, it's not like a far-fetched thing. But as soon as he says something like that, everybody and their mama runs with it and goes, see, he had leftist children, so she must have fabricated this. Are we sure about that? Is there proof of that? I don't know. But what I do know is that she just is in the middle, which we're going to start at the beginning, in the middle of a press conference. Let's take a listen to what she has to say here.
For joining us here today. I wanted to hold this press conference at Carmel Mall to highlight our incredible Somali businesses housed here. We have an extraordinary entrepreneurs who have built amazing businesses. Carmel holds a special place in my heart, and I look forward to visiting every time I'm home. This is one of the places I recommend to visitors who come into our town because it showcases our vibrant Somali community. Carmel Mall is home to more than 100 small businesses, and the owners here have seen a significant decline in business since Trump's Operation Metro Surge began. Community members are afraid to go out as a result of the occupation in our city by ICE. Not only is the federal occupation hurting businesses, the president's reprehensible rhetoric has led right-wing grifters to show up here to terrorize our community. It is indefensible. Hurting small businesses is just the tip of the iceberg. Under the Trump administration's so-called Operation Metro Surge, Constitutional rights are being trampled, families are being ripped apart, and fear is being weaponized to try to beat us into submission. Federal immigration agents are terrorizing our neighbors, stopping people of color, demanding papers, detaining U.S. citizens, and brutalizing Minnesotans in the name of public safety. But we know this is not about public safety or immigration enforcement. It is state-sanctioned violence and political retribution. What is unfolding in our state is not accidental. It is part of a coordinated effort to target Black and brown immigrant and Muslim communities through fear, racial profiling, and intimidation. This administration's immigration agenda is not about law enforcement. It is about making people feel they do not belong regardless of their citizen status or the law. But our communities shall not and will not be intimidated. In the face of violence, Minnesotans have organized, protected one another, and showed love instead of fear. Two incredible Minnesotans, Renee Good and Alex Pretti, were murdered for their willingness to stand up and protect their neighbors. Now our community is reeling from their murder that were entirely avoidable. No immigration enforcement agent should ever be allowed to act as a judge, jury, and executioner on our streets. We will continue to demand real accountability. I am grateful my colleagues who have shown immense moral clarity in this moment. I will end with this. We must all do more. Everyone here understands that. Voting no on DHS funding bill is the bare minimum. Backing the resolution to impeach Kristi Noem is the bare minimum. Holding law-breaking ICE agents legally accountable is the bare minimum. We must abolish ICE. This moment demands it. And next, I want to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
Thank you, Ilhan. Earlier today, we visited the sacred space where Alex Pretti was executed in broad daylight. An unarmed citizen whose last words were, "Don't hurt her." One of the many tributes that was at that memorial invoked a scripture that I love as a woman of faith, and it's Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. Do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed. And that is what brings me here today. Do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed. I'm here as a sister in solidarity with Congresswoman Omar. I'm so grateful for her courageous and steadfast leadership. I'm here in solidarity with Movement Family, who I have been here many times shoulder to shoulder doing justice work alongside. I am here to bear witness. I'm here to listen, and I'm here to help people process their grief and their trauma. You know, we all understand that elections have consequences. But for the life of me, what I cannot understand is that when someone has a House, a Senate majority, has the White House, and accomplices in the Supreme Court, why, when you have all of that power, you would use it to enact harm on every person who calls this country home? We have an occupant in the Oval Office who traffics in hate, is hell-bent on inflicting hurt and harm and trauma on everyone who calls this country home, with a laser focus on our most vulnerable. He has governed with malice and used ICE agents to terrorize our cities, rip families apart, operating with impunity. Rogue masked agents who violate people's rights in the name of so-called law and order. Yet they detain, deport, and kill our neighbors in cold blood without due process. To be clear, none of it has kept anyone safe because it has nothing to do with public safety. Not in Minnesota, not in Massachusetts. It has everything to do with power, with control, with intimidation and oppression. Earlier today, I met immigrants who make this country great, who make this state great, who fled authoritarian regimes in Colombia, Venezuela, Syria, and Nicaragua. They came here for a better life and to make positive contributions, which they do. And they are so traumatized to be seeing in real time the very authoritarian, fascist, and cruel actions that they fled showing up here in Minnesota and in this country. All this has done is traumatize children, delay cancer patients' chemotherapy, devastate small businesses, and leave beloved community members like Renee Good and Alex Pretti dead on our streets. The last time I was here at Carmel Mall, we broke bread together amongst bustling shoppers. It was vibrant, and we laughed over sambusas and drank Somali tea together. Today, it is quiet. Today, it is quiet. It is quiet because of fear. When we were at Midtown Global Market earlier today, what is it, Lakeside? We learned that Lake Street, home to some 2,000 businesses, majority of which are owned by immigrants, that they are losing $30 million a month. Those are the sort of contributions that immigrants have been making to this economy. I don't know what to do about that.
Sound issues like a mug.
Okay. So the point is, this is devastating families and devastating the economy here.
They picked the wrong area to do this.
Today to stand in community, to choose community over chaos and cruelty. We're here because although there could never be justice, because true justice would mean that Renee Good and Alex Pretti and Keith Porter would still be alive. I'm not sure, guys, what to do here. But there must be accountability.
Don't use the mic. Don't use the mic.
Okay.
Talk without the mic.
Listen, I'm the granddaughter of a Baptist preacher. I have no problem projecting. Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay, so if you want to have church, we will have church. And I mean real church. Not people who speak with a mouthful of scriptures, but walk with a heart full of hate. You know, it has been incredible to be here in community today with people who are every day choosing community over chaos and over cruelty, people who are fighting in defense of the true values of this country and in defense of our neighbors. This moment requires accountability. This week, the Senate will take up legislation to fund the Department of Homeland Security, which includes an additional $28 billion for ICE. We are calling on all senators, Democrat and Republican, to vote no, because Congress should not be funding this campaign of terror. And
Sorry, I just to take a little bit of a break from this, just so you guys know, now we got one more day, okay? Because the day is over, and today's the 28th. We got one more day, the 29th. And then comes right after 29, 30. January 30th is the cutoff day where I think we are all going to see very, very soon a government shutdown. So now you're hearing it right now. Shutdown's going to go down on the 30th. There is no way. I mean, unless some stroke of genius happens, some miracle happens on the 30th. But I doubt there will be a miracle because you got Democrats feeling some type of way about what happened to Alex Pretti. Also, what happened to Renee Good as well. Again, anything's possible. It could be opposite day on the 30th. But I'm telling you right now, the shutdown will be happening. And I don't think it's going to be a good one. I have a feeling this might be a little bit longer of a shutdown. And the thing is Trump might use the same things he did last time, meaning federal funding being shut off, people getting cut off from being able to use their SNAP benefits, other things for children in schools, etc. Right? So get ready for it. Just get ready for it. The shutdown is coming. It's inevitable because they're all talking about it and they're all demanding that there is no funding, that they shut off funding for ICE, that they slow that thing down. So, yeah, Serenity, we going to be fine. We going to get through it. But it's going to be a roller coaster ride of information and a lot of conversations for sure. But let's continue.
We can't stop there. The agents who brutalized and executed our neighbors cannot walk away freely. They must be held accountable for their crimes. That means passing my bill to end qualified immunity for federal law enforcement, including ICE agents. And it means impeaching Kristi Noem,
Ilhan Omar was
who
attacked
is
at her.
as incompetent as she is dangerous. She is a dangerous cocktail of authority, bigotry, and incompetence, and she must be impeached. We need to abolish ICE and dismantle the systems of oppression that have gotten us to this point. So again, I thank my sister in service for her courageous leadership, for the invitation to return to Minnesota once again, to stand shoulder to shoulder with my movement family, to do right, to seek justice, and to defend the oppressed. Finally, I will say this. Donald Trump is a dictator. And the only way to beat a dictator is with defiance. I thank the people of Minnesota for your defiance in this moment. And I'm here as your sister in solidarity.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there because the sound is just, they're all going to be yelling, it seems like. But you get the general idea. They're all speaking out, basically saying, because let's be real, the 30th, which is a day from now. I know technically today's the 28th, but you get what I'm saying. The day is done. Tomorrow is basically the new day. Okay, so we got one more day. And then it's going to be the deadline on whether or not they're going to actually do, if they're actually going to bend to their demands, to their wants. They want more funding for ICE. They want more leniency. They want more abilities to do X, Y, and Z. But the Democrats are saying they're saying they want more things, more guidelines, more restrictions in place for these particular agents because they're running out here like cowboys, guys. We're seeing it. They're running out here like cowboys right now. So that's just part of it. That's not the only thing that they're talking about. There's other things that they're looking into about this whole that could lead to another shutdown. So it's not just ICE, but now ICE is a big problem. ICE is a main focus because, of course, what happened to Alex and what happened to Renee. Both of them, may they rest in peace. Okay. Yeah. But again, it'll be, like I said, this is gonna be a very interesting 24 hours. Because again, come Friday, we may be in a government shutdown. And then it's going to be a question of how long that government shutdown is going to be. And I don't think a lot of us are ready for that crap. I don't think a lot of us are ready for another government shutdown. Oops. And I don't think that all of us want to see it go, like, for it to go another month or something of that sort. And then he uses the American people, as bait, holding holding starving children as ransom in a way to get what he wants from the Democrats, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the near future. But there are some other things that I do want to share with you guys about the people who actually pulled the trigger on Alex Pretti. Now, I want you guys to know this and make this abundantly clear. Two of these guys, there were two guys that actually pulled the trigger, taking the life of Alex Pretti. Both of them are on administrative leave. They're on paid leave, guys. I just want to make that abundantly clear. They are on paid leave. They are not suspended without pay while this investigation is going on. Oh, no. This is just like what we see with cops when it comes to a tragedy that happens at the hands of cops. And I'm just talking about the ones that are unjustified, just so you know. Okay? Yes, these guys are on a paid vacation. Yeah. So they're still getting six figures, however much money they're getting paid, right? But they get to go home and chill, kick up their feet, have a little macchiato, play some Call of Duty, and still get paid as this whole thing goes down, as this investigation ensues. Let's take a look at this. This is ridiculous, y'all. So the two Border Patrol agents that took the life of Alex Pretti in Minneapolis have been placed on paid administrative leave. Sources in Homeland Security confirmed to the Daily Mail, the article we're reading here, that the agents who have not been identified were suspended amid an investigation into the actual tragedy. The agents were reportedly given mental health support as standard procedure, like they need that. I'm going to be real. Let me just say this. Yes, they should have this, right? But I don't think that these guys even give a damn. Remember, this is the general consensus of these guys. I feel like it's the whole "get you some" type of mentality, but on American streets. You see what I'm saying? This is not a situation where they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Oh my God. No, they lit that man up. Damn near emptied a whole clip into the equivalent of a whole clip into this man. They don't care. Another dude was clapping on the side when they were still putting plugs in this man. Okay? So again, they might need it just to be like, what is wrong with you? That you would pull your trigger that many times thinking that you dirty Harry up in this mug. But okay, but that's standard procedure, that they're getting mental health support and were placed on an automatic administrative leave for at least 3 days. 3 days, guys. That's it. They're on an administrative leave for 3 whole days. What kind of procedure is that? 3 days? When the agents return, they will not be allowed out on the field and will be given desk roles, sources say. They shouldn't have their job for what happened here, period. 3 whole days. That's it, guys. And then they get to go back to getting paid. Sure, they say that these guys aren't going to be out in the field, but didn't Greg Bovino in an interview say, yeah, they're not there. They've been taken to another city. They're not here anymore. They're not in Minneapolis. They've been sent to another city. What? Interesting, right? The move follows mounting scrutiny on the tragedy of Pretti on Saturday, which came just weeks after what happened to Renee Good, right? So the officer involved in Good's shooting, Jonathan Ross, was placed on administrative leave as well. However, following Pretty's demise, President Trump called for a full investigation into the latest incident because this one's all on film. And it's not, you can't, there's so many different angles of what happened here. You can't deny what happened to Alex Pretti. You can't. Trump officials initially attempted to portray Pretti as a domestic terrorist because he had a legally owned firearm at the time he was shot. However, new government report has undermined allegations he brandished that weapon, right? We already know about all this crap, okay? But again, here's the thing. That's insane, right? That's insane. Oh, yeah, you could throw in the fact that, Steph, you ain't wrong with that. Okay, you ain't wrong with that. He also is a white male. You know, add that. Same thing with Renee Good, white female. I know they'll sit there and go, well, she was gay, so. But she was a white female. You see what I'm saying? But she had a partner. She had a wife, and she's female. So do the math. What does that mean exactly? Yeah, she was part of the alphabet community. You see what I'm saying? They start saying that stuff. They start moving the goalpost. You know? Now, I don't know. We don't know much. I haven't heard much about Alex Pretti. I'm assuming he was a straight male, right? And he worked at the VA. And he white. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Not good at all, right? But now they give a damn because if it was somebody who was black and brown, this would be, oh my Lord, it'd be a completely different conversation. And it would be a completely different conversation, guys. Dear Lord, we already know about that, though. We already know about that. We've had conversations about that in the past. We're not going to go down that trip, down memory lane, okay? But nonetheless, that's what's going on. Question, though. Random question. But have y'all seen hold on. Oh, I hate when they do that. Hold on, guys. Have you guys seen, do you guys know about this? First off, we got to take a trip down towards Melania Trump. Did you guys know that she has a movie that came out? Does anybody know that she has a movie that just came out that has been called brilliantly Melania? But does anybody know that she has an actual movie that just came out? You saw it on Prime? I didn't know it was on Prime. I thought it was in the theaters. Word? Because I thought it was in the theaters. Yeah, Melania. Nicole B, don't be asking. Who? Melania. Yeah, Melania. Her right here. You know, Melania. Not the best, most flattering photo of her right there. But you know who she is, you know? Melania, First Lady Melania. So apparently she's got a movie out. Why? I don't know. But they're saying here that it's the lowest rated movie of all time. And they're saying there is a concerted effort to make it the lowest rated movie of all time. So let me tell you something. If Trump doesn't know how the general consensus is feeling, how the peanut gallery is feeling, this could tell you exactly what's going on, because they're going out of their way to try to make this the lowest rated movie of all time. This is not a situation where, perfect example, like watching like Tron Ares, which was trash. It was trash. Dumpster fire. Trash. Okay, I saw that like last week, by the way. I sat through that movie and I said, wow, that was trash. This, I think people are just going over and giving it a low rating solely because people are pissed right now. They didn't even waste their time to go and check it out and see for themselves. I'm just being real. They didn't even go out of their way to see how the movie was. How was the storytelling, right? No. They just said, no, we don't like what's going on. F this. Negative reviews. I read a review that said, if you are having a hard time falling asleep, turn this on, and I guarantee you, you will be asleep in 20 minutes. I'm not kidding. Somebody actually said that in a Rotten Tomatoes review. So people are not liking the movie, and I don't think people have even seen the movie. I don't think people have even wasted their time to watch it yet. I don't even know where it is. I thought it was I literally thought it was in theaters. Real talk. Let's take a look at this. I know this is a little bit of a sidestep, but this is still in the realm that what we're talking about. And she also did make a statement like yesterday or a day before that we need to take a look at as well. She's like, we must be better with each other. Be nice to each other. You know what I mean? And for a fact, ish is hitting the fan when you got her reading from a teleprompter. Okay? Like, it's bad. It's bad when she has to go up and speak. Just saying. Let's take a look at this. So across popular letterbox platform, or the popular letterbox platform, users have been posting brutal reviews of Melania, the Amazon MGM produced documentary. And by the way, Brett Ratner directed this movie. And ain't he in a lot of trouble, or didn't he have a lot of issues for like in the Me Too movement situation? Didn't he have a lot of things? And then honestly, there are photos of him in the Epstein file. Like, some of the Epstein file photos have been recently released, and Brett Ratner is in these photos as well. And he also is the one who directed this. It's not a good look. It's all bad. It's all bad. So said, I haven't watched this previously. So they're writing messages, okay, about the film that they haven't even seen yet and don't intend to. That is some savagery. This is the peanut gallery telling Trump exactly how they feel. Because for a fact, if Trump was like kicking ass and taking names with the FAFO and everything, America, right? They would be watching this movie and going, oh, Melania's so wonderful. I can tell, I feel like I smell her perfume through the TV. She smells so good. She can do no wrong, right? Right? But given the fact of everything that's going on in these streets, the economy isn't doing that well. And what's up with these tariffs? Oh, and remember he said he was going to give people $2,000 each. And he suddenly went and said, oh, I don't remember saying that. Did I say that? Word? No, I didn't say it. Did I say that? Wait, did I? Damn. No, I didn't say. I said that. Okay. People are pissed. People were like, let me get that $2,000 stimmy. Nope. He's like, eventually. Because he's hoping people will forget. Right? Won't watch. Won't even pirate. Just making sure it's the lowest rated movie of all time, another wrote. So Letterboxd, a popular social film site, allows users to publicly rate, review, and list movies. As of 2024, the platform has over 17 million users. So far, there are over 100 reviews of Melania, which premieres worldwide on Friday. It currently sits at 2.5 stars out of 5. That's bad. Okay, I think Showgirls has better reviews than this. Okay, better stars than this. Let's keep it a bean. Okay, but look at this. I ain't watching this ish, and neither should you. And then F Ice. Wow. Here's another one. I did not watch this dump. F ICE, and then they forgot to blur out the F Trump, F anyone who supports the new age hateful group, German hateful group. Okay. Wiener Schnitzels. I did not watch this. F ICE. Who the F actually wanted this? That's kind of how I feel too. Who asked for this movie? You know what I mean? But remember, they brandize everything. Come on now. They brand everything in MAGA. From Trump, listen, everything's Trump cards, Trump accounts, the Trump gold card, everything. Trump sneakers, Trump phones, everything. So of course they're going to brand Melania. She's the first lady. Of course they're going to be like, Melania. She came out with a book. Remember she had a book? Y'all remember she has a book, right? She came out with a book. Yeah, that came out a while back. And now you got the movie following everything that she does. You know what I'm saying? It's just interesting, right? It is very, very interesting. But yeah, it's going to be the biggest flop ever. I have a feeling it will be. Well, I feel like now that it's out, like this information's out, there are going to be a lot of MAGA supporters that are going to go in there and raid the reviews and bring those reviews back up. Just give it some time. People are going to go in there and rate it, right? So in addition to these sobering facts, sorry, the First Lady's documentary was purchased by Jeff Bezos's Amazon for a reported $40 million. So the documentary was bought by Amazon for $40 million. The billionaire's company spent another $35 million promoting it. Holy crap. Let me just be real. That's $75 million spent on this movie alone because they believed that it was going to be so huge. And guess what? So far, the movie hasn't even come out yet, and people are like, F this movie. Crazy. Suffice to say, Letterboxd users have ammunition for their initial reviews of Melania. So again, here's another thing. This is bad right here. So, sex pest, Brett Ratner. Yeah, this is not good. Resurrected by the state so he can make propaganda fluff about the dictator's wife, one reviewer wrote. Several users wrote messages along the lines of abolish ICE and release the Epi files. F ICE and F Trump and his administration said in other reviews as well. So a lot of people are feeling some type of way about this documentary movie that's supposed to be coming out. And again, you got a known trash person that was part of the whole Me Too movement that was canceled for what he had been accused of doing back in the day, made the movie as well. What is going on? How do you give a person like that a job? You realize that's a bad look, right? You are sitting there lying to the general public about the Epi files. You're sitting there saying none of it exists. There's no list. It's all a lie. It's one big Democrat hoax, right? And then you hire a mother-loving person who is a part of that mother-loving whole thing too to direct and make the movie for you. What are you on? You realize that's like, you're not thinking with your head at all. You're not thinking at all. It's the dumbest thing in the world. That optically looks idiotic. Don't you think? Just a little bit. Am I the only one who's seeing that as absolutely insane? Your best friend, or at least used to be your best friend, ran one of the biggest rings in the Western Hemisphere. One of the biggest, notoriously biggest rings in the Western Hemisphere. You lie to the general public about those lists and those files. And then you hire a guy who's also a disturbing, disgusting human being, accused of doing very bad things as well, to direct your wife's documentary. Is anyone going to watch that movie? See, this is when I wish like Bezos said, who directed the movie? Like who's going to be on who directed this movie? Who's on top of this? Who's involved? Who's in the creative process of this movie? I'd want to know. And for you to find out it's Brett Ratner and you're not sitting there going, wait, I don't know if we want to buy that now. But of course there's going, hey, we're going to buy it because what else is new? One, they know it's a brand. It's Melania. There's going to be a lot of women, a lot of Republican MAGA women that love Melania. Oh, she's so beautiful, right? They're going to be like, they're going to watch it because she's Melania. And it's MAGA everything, right? Shoot, if there was MAGA butter, bread, milk, everything, you don't think people would have like MAGA, hardcore MAGA individuals wouldn't have MAGA everything in their cupboards? Okay. Yeah, I said cupboards. Okay. In their cabinets. You don't think that if everything was MAGA, people wouldn't go and buy all that crap? Plenty of people out here buying all kinds of stuff and wearing it all day long. Damn near looking like a freaking, like a American flag threw up on them. You know what I'm saying? So of course there's going to be people out here that are going to go out of their way to see this movie, you know, just out of curiosity, just to see if it's good or bad. Yeah, it's MAGA milk. Yeah, T, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with my dogs. I don't think they like me talking about this Melania documentary. You guys got a problem with it? Hey, yo, dog. You got a problem? Okay, we're going to move on though. Okay? We're going to move on to the next topic. But you get what I'm saying, right? You picking up what I'm putting down. Okay? Yeah. It's not going to be successful. It's not going to be successful at all. Trust and believe. Okay? Wow. So Grok, apparently, you know, the AI program that X has, apparently, hold on. This is insane. So Elon just put this up. I just need to share this with you guys. So I know it's a little bit of a left turn, but take a look at this. Elon just put this up. Grok video is now 10 seconds and audio is greatly improved. Let's take a look at this. That's supposed to be Sydney Sweeney. Okay? Take a look at this.
So let me get this straight. Grok videos are now 10 seconds, and the audio is greatly improved?
Yeah, pretty much. Do you like it?
It could be better. It could be better. I'll be real. It could be better. And it's weird because there's moments where she looks like Sydney Sweeney, and then there's moments that she doesn't look like her at all. You know what I'm saying? But that's interesting. Okay. Let me pull this up real quick. Because if I'm correct, Melania did make a statement. Oh, this just happened too. Okay, hold on. Because she's promoting the movie. Hold on. But here's another one. Okay. So she made a statement. Let me read this thing. It says here. Oh, okay. So she said, we need to unify. I'm calling for unity. I know my husband, the president, had a great call yesterday with the governor. This is right around that time when, you know, everything ish was hitting the fan. So now Melania, of all people, had to come in and I guess give everything a little bit more of a softer touch. I don't know. It's just very interesting that they brought her into the mix. But I also think that this was an opportunity for her to promote her movie. I don't know what could tell you that would give that away, that she's trying to possibly promote her movie. while making this public announcement, this speech. I don't know what could tell you. I don't know what could tell you that she's trying to maybe promote her movie at the same time, and she wants people to show up and see the movie. Something tells me. You don't see that? Is it just me, or something's very looming? You know, like it's not really in your face. It's more like in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's kind of like this distant echo, this distant call in the background, you know, kind of out of focus, but you know what I mean? It's like that. You can't really focus on what it's being said exactly, but you get the message. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Does it look like possibly I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of my mind. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. But let's hear what she got to say, because I don't know. Something tells me she is promoting a movie. She is promoting a movie here. Ain't that something? It's just not in your face, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know, MB7. It's like a complete blur for me too. You know, I can kind of make out the words, you know what I mean? But it's kind of still a blur. You feel me? Anyway, let's hear what she got to say, though.
We need to unify. I'm calling for unity. I know my husband, the president, had a great call yesterday with the governor and the mayor, and they're working together to make it peaceful and without riots. I'm against the violence, so if we protest in peace. And we need to unify in these times.
You know what? You want to know something? I think the only reason why she's speaking out right now, because she doesn't really speak very often. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think she has a lovely speaking voice. I'm not sitting here saying that. I'm not saying anything nefarious or not even trying to take digs at the first lady. Not at all. Not at all. But it does kind of tell you that she's literally out here trying to promote a movie. And the last thing she wants to see happen is a huge investment fall flat on its face. $75 million, one to buy the movie and another one to promote the movie. And by the way, I hadn't really seen much promotion out here in these streets for Melania, but at the same time, they spent $75 million somehow out here for everybody to see it, right? For that promotion. So now, given the fact that this happens right at the same time, days before she's supposed to be coming out with this movie, it's not the greatest situation. So, of course, she's got to step forward and go, we do not stand with the violence. We must come together, unify, unity. We need to unity, you know? But this is all because she's trying to get people to see the movie. When she should be making a statement out here because she's the first lady. Do you understand what I'm saying? She should just be coming out here saying something because she's the first lady. It shouldn't also be wrapped up in a promo being like, come see my movie, Melania. That is my name. Go see it. No. You know what I'm saying? Oh, good God. Yeah, UNITY. Yeah, baby. So we need unity, okay? Or you know, or more like Rick James, unity. You know what I mean? What if 5 fingers said in the face? Slap. But that's another conversation in itself. F your couch. Charlie Murphy. So let's get into this other one. She said he's a unifier, not a unifier, unifier. Trump is a unifier. She's here to promote, as you can see, Melania movie out this Friday. And it's already reviewing terribly. It's already tanking so hard because the people out here are talking. And I'm telling you right now, people already are, denying this fact, but this is also a fact. I'm just going to let y'all know. All right. But here's the thing. Trump's poll is tanking as well. That sounded weird. I'm talking about his voter poll. Okay, we ain't talking about his poll. All right, we ain't talking about that. The other poll. We talking about the poll that matters right now. All right, his voter poll, his approval ratings have dropped considerably. But here's the thing, though. He's going to deny that. But even right-wing media is talking about that. People are very disgusted about what happened here. That's the reason why he's been doing all this backtracking. That's why he said, no, Melania, go out there, speak. We need something. We need the first lady to say something. We are unity, unify. And in these times, we need to come together. I don't know why it's French, but you see what I'm saying, okay? We need to come together. Watch my movie.
Legacy be? What's your focus for the second term? And he says, I want to be remembered as a peacemaker. And you added, and unifier. And I'm curious as to what role you play in that, or what your designs are for how you can help facilitate that, because there's no question that the country needs a lot of unifying at this moment.
Yes, it does, but I think he's unifier. He's unifier not just here, United States, but around the world. He stopped many wars, and as well here in United States, it's a lot of opposition, and that's the problem, right? So the people not agreeing with everything what he does. And, they just need to come on the same page and see that he wants to make America only safer and better.
So so what do you guys think? Do you think that Trump is a unifier? Do you think that he's the great unifier? I don't see that. No disrespect. I know I know that there's people out here that are supporters, big time, I don't see that. Like, he made a statement. Remember the interview that he had inside of like a Cracker Barrel that he had yesterday? And they were asking him it was something Wilson, Kane Wilson or whatever on Fox, right? And they were doing this interview, and something that just really threw me off. He said, yeah, what happened to these two people are absolutely terrible. He started pretty well. But then he said, what happened to Alex Pretti, we're doing our investigation. What really happened there is terrible. I don't like the fact that he showed up with a weapon and, 2 magazines, fully loaded, etc. I didn't like that at all. But it's still very, very sad what happened to him. But then there's the next part he said. He said something along the lines of, oh, what happened to Renee Good, even with what happened to Renee Good is also so sad. But what's even more tragic is, something along the lines of like, even what's more tragic, or what hurts even more is that her parents were Trump supporters. Something along the lines of that. And I'm like, wait, what? Why? What? So it's terrible that what? That these her Trump supporter family lost their child more because they're Trump support. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's just certain things that he says, and I'm like, how is that a unifier? If he's saying the loser left or the crazy left, and he's using all this divisive language, how is he a great unifier? There's only people that are living in this world of Delulu that are brainwashed, that are going to look at this and go, yeah, he's a great unifier. Where's the unity, guys? I'm sorry, there is no unity. In fact, he pushed back at his own base as well with the Epstein files. Did he not? He was gaslighting his own people, his own followers, his own supporters, saying, you guys are dumb. If you're asking about this stuff, you're dumb. But everybody has a memory. Everybody remembers how he was saying in the very beginning of his election campaign, up until this Epstein stuff started to get unearthed, how he was saying, we're going to drain the swamp. We're going to expose this. We're going to do that in the third. And then when push comes to shove, he's like, no, you're an idiot for asking those questions. You are dumb. I can't believe you're asking that question. You're just absolutely stupid. This is the stupidest question I've ever heard. What? This is what you built your campaign on from the beginning, from the first term. You were talking about these things and throwing everybody under the bus except you. And then as soon as it started to turn around, because I guess you forgot that there's so much bad on you, you spin it and try to make it seem like it doesn't exist. And then when it does exist, you say it's a Democrat hoax. So I don't know, guys, like I said. And then, what happened to Charlie Kirk? Absolutely tragic. But then he goes out there and he's like, it's the loser left. It's the crazy left. These leftists, these Democrats, they're no good. They're all no good. That is divisive and very, very divisive type of rhetoric. That doesn't sound like unifying information, unifying words. The only time he's starting to say those things now is because, one, you got the midterms coming up. Two, government shutdown's about to happen. And three, his approval ratings are dropping. They're dismal at best now. That's why he's like, it's tragic what happened to both of them now. It's tragic, guys. It's all because he's worried about the government shutdown that's coming, the midterms that are coming. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be voting blue unless he has something to do. Unless he has something to do about it. So like I said, it's just wild. It's just wild, and it's sad that we are living in this time. It's really sad that we're living in this time. Real talk. And of course, what they're sharing right now, a lot of people are sharing what we talked about earlier today, or earlier in the show. The whole video of Alex Pretti a week before he lost his life, right? Which is obviously very, very tragic and very, very sad. Now, there's something I do want to talk to you guys about. There's a few other things. One thing is for sure. We already know. Well, hold on. 1 second. Uno momento, por favor. Hold on, guys. Let me just check one thing. One thing, guys. Yeah, like I said, people are going to take what is being said here and they're going to run with it. Okay, they're going to run with this. The footage that we just saw of Alex Pretti. They're going to take that and they're going to run with it for sure. Just get ready. People are going to spin it. They're going to turn it around because they need something that's going to make people, the ones that feel lonely, alone in their thoughts, are going to be like, yes, we saw the footage. He's unhinged. He's a monster. You know what I mean? So get ready for that. There's going to be a lot of those videos coming out here very, very soon. I still think it doesn't justify what happened. Okay. It still doesn't justify him losing his life. It really does not. But let us continue on. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second, guys. What was I going to do? Boom. Just want to see something here real quick. Yeah, because these protests are going to continue for sure. Yeah, we got some things to talk about. I'll be on Court TV tonight, just so you know. Back on Court TV with Vinny Politan, just so you guys know. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the conversation and all that. I am really looking forward to it. It should be a really, really good time. As always, it's never a dull moment with Vinny Politan. Just so you guys know. Hold on, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of people reacting. Also, I will say this too. Something that's very interesting. There's some sort of outbreak going on. Have you guys heard about this? Hold on. Oh, that's what I meant. Hold on. That's what can't spell it. I don't know why. But you guys heard about this? Hold on.
Thailand is among several Asian nations that have stepped up airport health screenings after India reported 2 cases of the deadly Nipah virus. But what
Have you heard about this Nipah virus? Yeah, there's apparently a new bug. I got to use these code words, guys. I know it's very frustrating, but it is what it is because we might be like, I feel like we're going back to, again, I feel like we're going back to 2016, like the first term. All right. I'm just going to keep it a bean. It's like we're back to that crap all over again, just so you know. But there apparently is a very uncurable bug that has hit India. And there's a lot of concern about it possibly passing on into America. Hold on. Let me just let's find out what this is. So it's called a Nipah virus. Okay, it's a highly fatal zoonotic virus transmitted from animals like fruit bats and pigs to humans that causes severe disease, including acute respiratory illness and fatal encephalitis. So it was first identified in 1998. It causes annual outbreaks in parts of Asia with a 40 to 75% mortality rate and no specific vaccine or treatment. So apparently they're having that issue in India and they're worried about this going somewhere else. So that's what encephalitis is. It's a inflammation of the brain. That's scary. That's very, very scary. So just really quick, I just want you guys to be hip of it, just hip with it, because again, you never know. You know what I mean? You never know. There's always these scares, like, there was the monkeypox, there's all this other crazy stuff, but just a little bit so you guys know what the hell's going on. And I keep on feeling like we are, we're back to the first term type of thing, except things are just kind of revving up. It's just abbreviated. We're not waiting till the end of the term to see things go bad. We're already seeing it within the first half of the term. You see what I'm saying? It's just wild, but I hope this isn't a thing that we need to worry about, but I'm just giving you guys the information so you know.
is Nipah, and how concerned should people be? Nipah is a rare viral infection that comes mainly from fruit bats. It was first identified in Malaysia in the late 90s. Here's Paul Hunter, professor in medicine at Norwich Medical School in Britain.
Most transmission events are because of a contact either with an infected animal or with something that has been contaminated by fruit bats.
It can also spread from person to person, typically after close contact between the sick and their caregivers, though experts say that does not happen easily. Nipah can cause severe illness and can be deadly.
The death rate varies from outbreak to outbreak. but is of the order of about 45 to 75% mortality rate.
So again, this is something that's actually going on. And there has been some concern of it spreading to other countries and all that. Just letting you guys know what's going on, so you know what's going on. Now, forensics determined source of liquid that was actually sprayed on Ilhan Omar. Let's find out what that is.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight on air and streaming on Care 11 Plus. I'm Julie Nelson.
And I'm Lauren Lamanchek. Right now, Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is holding another public event after a scary incident at a town hall less than 24 hours ago.
Video captures the moment a suspect leaped toward the Congresswoman, spraying her with liquid from a syringe. Sources now tell CNN that liquid was apple cider vinegar.
What? What? But why? Why apple cider vinegar? Why apple cider vinegar? Like that's nasty. All right. I mean, apple cider vinegar smells like it smells nasty. It smells exactly like it tastes. Nasty. Okay. But at the same time, why would you go? It burns. It burns when you spray it on your skin. Really? Why did this guy go, Omar, I hate her so much. Let me just get some apple cider vinegar and spray it all over her body. Yeah. That's what she's going to get. She's going to love it. Oh, that's what she's going to get. Oh, who's the fool now? Who's the fool now? Apple cider vinegar? Really? Yo, you a savage, son. Yo! Yeah, that's what you get, bro. Spray her with that apple cider vinegar, son. That makes no sense, guys. That makes no sense. Please, guys, explain that to me. You know? Spray that. Like, what? Okay.
The Congresswoman is okay and actually continued speaking shortly thereafter.
We also now know that the FBI is taking over that case after local police arrested Anthony Kazmierzak, who's tentatively facing assault charges. At this hour, Omar's at Carmel Mall, a hub of the Somali businesses in South Minneapolis.
Our Jennifer Hoff is there too, and she spoke with security experts about the growing threats to lawmakers. Jennifer?
Lauren and Julie, Omar is joining a Massachusetts congresswoman to tour this space here behind me, the mall that you mentioned, that Omar says has seen significant decline in business since President Trump's immigration crackdown. Security experts also telling me today that what happened last night should be a warning for everybody and should also be on everybody's radar as they look to new security protocols. While that suspect's nephew tells me that he is not at all surprised at what happened.
Let me just say this really quick. Okay, I just learned something new. So apparently, I just put in into Google, asking Google AI, right? Does apple cider vinegar burn if in contact to skin, right? So the AI review says, yes, apple cider vinegar can burn or severely irritate the skin if it comes in contact with it, particularly when it's used in high concentrations, applied undiluted or left on for extended periods. Because apple cider vinegar is highly acidic, containing 4 to 8% acetic acid, hopefully I'm saying that right, it acts as a chemical agent that can cause irritation, redness, and in some cases, chemical burns or skin ulcers. Wow. I did not know that. I really did not know that. I didn't know that. I thought that it would just be, like, what are you doing? Why is this on me? You know what I mean? But I guess it can irritate the skin pretty badly, right? It's just dumb, though. I still think it's dumb. I think it's really dumb. But okay, let's hear a little bit more.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
An attack on Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar caught on camera at a town hall event last night. A man leaping from near the front row using a syringe to spray her with what sources now tell CNN was apple cider vinegar. Security taking down Anthony Kazmierzak, booked in jail and tentatively facing assault charges.
Look at his greasy ass. He looked greasy, y'all. Okay? Like greasy.
His criminal history, mostly traffic citations, but includes at least 10 DUIs.
She's just...
Whoa. Wait a second. We got to hear that. He's so greasy. Oh, he greasy. Love that chicken from Popeye. Greasy.
In jail and tentatively facing assault charges. His criminal history, mostly traffic citations, but includes at least 10 DUIs.
10 of them. 10. I knew he was greasy. I told you all he would look dirty. 10 DUIs. Shoot. After the 10th one, God's trying to tell you something. God's trying to tell you something. Go to rehab. 10.
He's just a symbol for something that he doesn't like.
Kazmierzak's own nephew, Shepard Weiserman, confirming his uncle struggles with substance abuse and attacked Omar because he disagrees with her political views, even writing a letter to her office today offering an apology.
I don't think she deserves that.
It's insane.
We should be treating each other with dignity and respect.
We will continue this. President Trump has frequently criticized the Congresswoman, stepping up verbal attacks while focused on Minneapolis, as threats against lawmakers continue to rise overall.
And everybody should be learning from this across the spectrum.
Former Secret Service member Mike Olson suggests a larger buffer between the audience and any podium and registering guests ahead of time to flag any potential bad behavior, saying last night's event should have been evacuated.
Certainly if budgets are an issue, they don't have the ability to bring in security to, plan for everything. Staff can be trained to some of the basic things that can be done.
And the Congresswoman's event here at Karma Mall is expected to last until at least 5:30. We do plan to join in on that and ask her and her team some questions about whether there is any new security upgrades from last night. And you can expect to hear from her and have another live report on this coming up still tonight at 6 o'clock. Back to you.
Yeah, clearly, this mother lover needs Jesus. Yeah. Or in this case, Allah. Yeah. 10 DUIs? Like, he's clearly out his mind. 10 DUIs, and you got children that are leftists. So I don't know. There's something about this that just doesn't read to me like she just went out of her way to go, let me find a guy that's willing to risk it all so that we can stage this, so that I can get some more sympathy from the public. No, I just think this guy's unhinged, and he's a drunk, and he did what he did. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, he needs rehab more than anything in the world. 10 DUIs. You need rehab. Let me get these super chats here really quick. Okay. Again, thank you guys for the love and being here and hanging out with me and all that. That really means a lot. Bernice, thank you so much for being a member for over a year. I really do appreciate it. Hello. Hope all is well to you as well. I appreciate that. Ride, what up? Thank you so much for the love. He was wrong in there, or he was in wrong. He was in wrong here. Yeah, he was wrong. Absolutely. Doesn't change a damn thing. It doesn't. He was absolutely in the wrong when he was kicking the hell out of the car and all that, and getting super aggressive with ICE. No, he done mucked that up. Yeah. Not surprised if ICE attacked him at that time. But does that mean he needs to be erased from this planet? Nope, I don't think so. But people will take that and they will chop it up and screw it and tie it up with a nice MAGA bow and try to make it seem like, yes, he was some unhinged psychopath trying to take out trying to take out ICE, and that's not true, you know? But moving on. Immortal, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the love. ICE uses rentals so they aren't enforcement vehicles. That's true, but I think that doesn't it mean that maybe I'm wrong? I'm probably wrong, but this is what, from my understanding, whether or not it is a rental or if it's a actual law enforcement vehicle, when they're inside that vehicle, that is still considered a law enforcement vehicle. So if you do attack a car, you can still get in trouble for attacking said car. At least that's from what I've gathered. But I could be wrong. But we'll see. Now I gotta ask a lawyer friend, and see if I'm right or if I'm absolutely wrong. Right. Tyler, thank you so much for being a member for over 3 years. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate that. The same people saying it's staged, I wonder if they think the Trump thing, when they tried to take out Trump, was staged as well. I think a lot of people have been curious about that too. Regardless, she has courage more than most. I agree. I think, it's the same thing I would say about Trump when he was attacked as well. Whether or not it's real, I still think that it's real, but I know that there's a lot of people that are side-eyeing it because they're thinking, ooh, he got some extra empathy. He got some extra sympathy votes, for what he did. But it is, and I'm going to be real, it is pretty badass that he was like, no. And he put up his fist in the air and he's like, fight. That was badass. I'm sorry. Like I told you guys, when something good is happening or when something dope I'm going to call balls and strikes here, right? Doesn't matter if I'm a fan of Trump or not a fan of Trump. If he does something good, I call it out. When he does something, dumb, I call that out too. That's just how I, in my opinion, play the game. But when he did that and that whole thing went down, yeah, if it's real, it was badass. I think it was badass, right? But there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know if that was real. I think it was all fake. We'll see. I think it's real. I think this attack on Ilhan Omar is real too. I think that's real, but we'll see, right? I'm sure they're going to be doing deep dives and finding out what the heck this Andy guy is all about, right? This drunk. Moving on though, cheddar soup. Thank you so much for the love. Good evening. These vicious unalivings and abductions should not be happening in America. I agree. It hurts in the heart, man. We deserve better and true leaders. Yes, we do. We deserve both for sure. We definitely deserve better. We definitely deserve truer, more authentic, more genuine leaders out here. But that's why we have to start voting. Okay. And it starts local all the way to countrywide, right? That's what we need to do. It's from local to nationwide. That's what we need to do from the very beginning to the very end. And that's the thing. We have to be very choosy on who we vote in, because at the end of the day, those people that we vote in, they get into the system and then they slowly climb the ranks. Some of these guys have been in the system for decades, several decades, and they're corrupt as hell, but they got voted in and they found a way to finagle and finesse their way all the way up to where they are now. Maybe they didn't get to presidency, but they're damn near close. And they're making decisions on how we live as Americans. That's not good. Or they're helping with the divisiveness, with the rhetoric, etc. That's not good. They're the ones making those choices, pushing bills, vetoing and stopping bills from being passed to help the American people. It starts right from your county or your city all the way out to nationwide. So it really matters on who we're voting. Not because, I like his name. His last name's Bush. I'm just going to vote for him. No, look his ass up. See what his policies are all about, right? Before you vote that mother lover in. You see what I'm saying? Because you might be voting in the wrong guy. That isn't for you. That's for somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So we got to be really, really careful on what we're putting out here and who we're voting to fight for us out here in these streets, The little guy all the way up to the main guy at the top of the mountain. Because they all work together in some weird, strange, sinister kind of way. But I'm telling you right now, guys, tomorrow we got one more day. And then Friday, it will be government shutdown day again. Unless some stroke of genius, some stroke of miracle happens tomorrow. I doubt it, or it happens by Friday. I'm sorry. I doubt it. All I say is get your ducks in a row, get your stuff in line, because it might be a bumpy February. It just might. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see what happens. This is why we need to lean on each other. We need to start loving each other. We need to start finding that commonality within our fellow man. Stop looking at the things that make us different, our political views and whatnot, and start looking at things that we have in common. That's what we need to do more than anything right now. Because soon enough, the way things are going right now, I don't know if anything's going to start getting clean, start getting right again. Not anytime soon. I think it's going to get uglier before it gets better. But what we can do as a family is start holding each other down, supporting each other regardless of our political views. Because at the end of the day, if the country fails, we fail. We fail. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in, being a part of the conversation. Do me a favor. Before we head out, do me this solid. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, make sure you hit that follow button. Follow, please. Make sure you do that. Hit that subscribe button here on my YouTube channel. Go and check out my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button there. Hit the notification bell on both those platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it's random. It is what it is for now, okay? Hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com, we got some really great stuff over there. Go check it out, PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a great rest of your night. And if you're around in the next hour or so and you have nothing to do, go check out Court TV. Vinny Politan Investigates. I'll be on there at the 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time hour. So tune in and be a part of the conversation. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.